Hi, I'm John and welcome back to my Lair of Action Figures. So today it's Sunday, so like every Sunday this is going to be a new episode of This Week in Action Figures news. So of course this is episode 9. So we're going to start straight away with some bad news. Again, this is something that has been running around since the new tariffs have been imposed. So of course I'm not going to go talk about politics because this is not a channel about politics, and of course this is the proof that everything politics gets mixed up with ruins everything for everybody, and this is the case. Now I've been reading around, somebody who used to work for Hasbro said this is definitely corporate greed. Now the problem with this, I have a bit doubts about corporate greed. I could be mistaken. But again, these tariffs are something that is pretty hard to deal with, and they can pop up at any kind of moment without any further notice, and suddenly you should get an extra percentage. India got hit not a long time ago. I'm not going to talk about Switzerland. Switzerland also, everything was going fine, and suddenly they get 39%. Look at the shipping routes with all the new stuff who's been put in place for small packets arriving in the US who are going to be taxed now, who were not taxed before. So you see, there's a lot of moving parts who is going to be hard to say. Now, the only way I would agree that it's corporate greed if we're going to see the prices go up in Europe. If they go up in Europe, that would be definitely corporate greed, because there's no way that Hasbro should bring up the prices in Europe if it's based on the tariffs. Tariffs are only applied in the US. Now, something who might be very interesting to see is, will Hasbro change their way of shipping? Because knowing that Canada is not under this tariff, are they going to ship out what is needed in the US, and what is needed for Canada, they're going to ship it directly to Canada, so they don't have this massive rise of prices. It would be interesting to see, or the church cannot be bothered because it's too complicated for the logistic, and they're going to ship everything back into the US. So that's something to be seen. Tell me what you think about it. Do you think it's corporate greed? Do you think tariffs do have an impact on it? Let me know what you think about it, and tell me also, especially for my American collectors, also Canadian collectors out there who watch the channel, tell me if this is something that's going to be the straw that broke the camel's back, because this is something that I will be curious to know. Are you going to continue, or is this not something that you want to do? Let me know in the comments section. Anyway, let's skip for some better news. Of course, you may have seen on my Facebook page, I've been talking about Hasbro Pulse Con. So this is going to be on the 9th of October through the 12th of October 2025. So of course there's going to be plenty of releases, of course Marvel Legends, Star Wars, but don't do those, but especially G.I. Joe. So from my perspective, I'm already saying that we know we're going to get Pythona. So she's going to be going up on one of these days for pre-order. The other figures that I believe are going to be also released during that Pulse week in October will be, of course, Steeler and Short Fuse, because those two figures had digital renders, but they went a bit further than the digital renders because they already showed us some pictures of it. So that means they're a bit further away in production line. So this is not only a digital render. We should be also getting some of this Ghost Viper, the ones who are working with Crystal Ball. Hope you managed to purchase it for all my American collector friends out there, and also Canadian collectors. Afterwards, we're going to be also getting the police officer that was some kind of disappeared from the list, and should be coming also up for pre-order, and it should be a pretty fast one, because from certain news that I've heard that this figure is already in the US. So those are the figures that I believe that will be released. I guess we might get maybe some digital renders of the name releases they give, maybe some more name release, so, and maybe a bit some updates on this Snowcat. So continuing with talking about Snowcat and Haslab, let's talk about the gunship. because today it's sitting currently at 5,700 units, and there's about 1 hour and 14 minutes left before the end of it. Now this looks pretty bad because they're still missing 2,300 pieces to get the unlock. So that's kind of a lot, and even the Snowcat, who was pretty slow in getting it, maybe the snow blocked it, but this one should not only not have an excuse, and I did predict and said that this one shouldn't have been a Haslab due to the fact that it came out multiple times in the past, and people who have purchased it may not have the room or may not want multiples of this gunship due to the fact that it's 20% or 25% bigger than the original one. So I think this is going to be something that we need to have a closer look at, and we will see in one day if this item gets funded or not. Of course, Japan and all the Asian market will not have their numbers in before the last minute, but I have doubts that it's going to get funded. I did a poll about it and asked, do you think this should be a Haslab or not? I think the poll is still open. You can go and check in the community section where I post different pictures. So go and check it out and participate in the poll. And tell me, do you think this was a good idea, too expensive? Let me know about what your thoughts about these Haslabs. Is it worth it or not? Now, let's jump into Hot Toys. So, of course, if you have watched my video, you will know that more about Sergeant Hound and his massive dog over here. So, yeah, I'm still not digging this figure. I barely remember the episode. It was an interesting episode with Ahsoka being hunted down. If you want to know more about it, you can go and watch my thoughts about this figure, but still not sold, and for $300, I think this figure should still stay an exclusive. It is really a specific figure for one episode of Clone Wars, and this is where you should be bringing out exclusive and not general releases. But again, Hot Toys sometimes works in mysterious ways and doesn't work always in the smart way. Now, one figure that I didn't do, or I should say two figures that I didn't do the videos for, it is John Wick. Now, for me, this is a bit of a surprise. They're going back to the original John Wick. I see where they're going with the idea of this figure, but I don't understand why coming out now. I think they did announce something for Ballerina. I don't remember exactly, but you can tell me in the comment section. But I think they did announce something, and at the end, I don't know if they're going to be doing it due to the fact that the movie flopped. So this is something that Hot Toys is kind of good at. They already did that with some other figures, and they're going to be continuing in the future. But I can understand that they decided to make this a regular version. And of course, they're going to give you the artisan edition. So with this kind of real hair and all this kind of stuff, yeah, no. So we're not going to pay $500 for a figure. The problem is we only have four pictures of these two figures, and we don't know what we're getting with it. So personally, I do love Keanu Reeves. I think he's fantastic in the John Wick and also in other movies that he did. But yeah, I have my John Wick from the first movie. I'm good enough with it. I don't really need more of these figures. But again, afterwards, I understand that Hot Toys is not making figures for me and should be out there for everyone. But again, I don't understand why you're coming with this artisan version. Except if you have something that we don't know about, a new movie coming out or something like that. But I think this should be announced at the same time that there's a movie. Maybe take the advantage of Ballerina coming out when it came out to do this kind of artisan version and announce it. But personally, I don't really get why Hot Toys is going back there. Maybe should have waited a bit for something else to do in the artisan version. I don't know. I think it's this is figures that should be going around a movie to bring up the hype with the movie coming out, so the figure gets the hype also. And I think it's a bit of a missed opportunity. Maybe I'm wrong. You can let me know in the comment section also. We can have a conversation about it. But personally, both versions I'm going to pass because, for one, I don't know what gear is coming with it. I could change my mind, but I'm definitely not paying $500 for the wheel hair version, and I will be very curious to see how this part is going to age, because all the ones I have with wheel hair have a tendency, except Baby Doll didn't do too bad, but my Black Widow curly hair is not the best, and the other figures I left them with this plastic wrap so that the hair doesn't move, and it's the best way to keep it because those things have tendency of going all over the place. Anyway, that's going to be it for this week in action figure news. If you like this kind of videos, please leave a like, share, comment in the section. If you have any suggestions or anything else that you want me to talk about, put it in the comment section and we can have a conversation about it. And I can also talk about going to be going forward with some new ideas coming up. There's, of course, the review of the Law and Order. There's going to be some other reviews going up next week. I have plenty of stuff that I have to do. And I'm going to be showing you what I've been doing with sorting out a lot of my collection and getting everything ready to make the videos and to be able to do reviews faster in a better way when Hot Toys comes out with something that they already did. So stay tuned, you're going to hopefully like it, so let me know about it. So until then, I hope you have a fantastic Sunday if you're watching this on Sunday, or otherwise have a fantastic day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!